I'm totally amazed because it was very unclear if I would be able to come, and it's very exciting now.
And for people who haven't been lucky enough to see the film before, can you tell us a bit about your character and where she fits into the overall story of the film?
Mel is somehow like at a point where she's stuck in her life and she doesn't really know, like she's kind of in this permanent guest status in England because her fiancé works here, but she doesn't have a job here, and so she's kind of floating around and is super bored all the time. And and that's at this point she meets Rob's character, and everything changes from there on. It's very, it's actually pretty amazing that they make it into some kind of conversation in that day at all, because Rob's character just doesn't talk and Mel talks way too much. So yeah, it's an amazing encounter. But like these things sometimes they get even more special if people are two extremes, you know, like on both sides of the extreme scale. And in this case, it works. Yeah.
You talk about working with Rob. I mean, obviously it's his first film as a leading man, but he seems built for it.
Yeah, well, it was. I cannot believe it. It's amazing what's happening there. But it's that's also funny if you know him in real life. Like, he's so not a grumpy person, and it was like getting him into being this grumpy person. It's such a polite, charming, friendly man that he is. Was very hard in the beginning because we kind of doing the rehearsals, and then Mel comes and blah 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 blah, and he should be like, no, I don't care, go away. But he was always like, okay, yeah, okay. When we were trying to rehearse, we were like, no, Rob, you cannot answer, you have to be grumpy. And that was to see what's happening now and how he nailed it. It's amazing. It's really cool. I love it. I love his performance. It's rare that I read a script where I want to read out loud. The first time I read it and be like, go over and over dialogues again, because I just love how I usually just read it and then after some months I get excited. But this time I was really like, yeah. And I call people, and I always can say that I really love a script when I start to call people and talk stupid like stuff that nobody will understand, where you're like, yeah, and then she says, and then and they're like, but then I know that I like the thing because I'm already like in the middle of the story. And that's what happened. And also since I was 16, I wanted to spend time in England. Actually, especially around this area, which broke my heart when I was here with 15 years on a holiday. And so it was like a teenage dream come true plus a total career great thing. When I was 15 or something, I was with my best friend back then and her family here. And I was a very melancholic, dramatic teenager, only listening to Blur, totally Blur side. Oasis okay, but Blur, and of course Pulp. And I was sure that I would go to England for a year later, which never happened because my parents wouldn't let me. But I spent a very, very emotional time of my life on this coast. I haven't been in Folkestone, but we've been close there. We've been to Canterbury and we've been to Dover. And I remember myself sitting in the car watching these grayish skies and the water, and being like, this is it. I want to live here. I want to spend time here, and I feel very emotional. And so usually if you get back to a place like this, then it will never be like this. This time it was 10 times even more than I expected, emotional like that. And I just love it there. I just love the whole atmosphere. This kind of sparkling melancholy thing. It's really, really, really nice. Totally up my alley. I don't hope for anything at all. I just hope they like it, and I hope they kind of touches something in them, and I can relate to it, and it makes them as happy watching it as it makes me happy, has made me happy doing it, having done it. So many grammatical forms in this sentence that I haven't worked on in my English A-levels. Sorry. Please look this up on the internet. The sentence is on the internet in the correct form. Thank you.